Hello folks. Well, I'm glad you could join me this morning. It's a beautiful morning, a very mild, warm environment here, but I'm getting aside the point that I want to make at the beginning of this video. When I started the coverage project, there were two main locations that I did not really care to visit, and that was just namely because people have searched these two places through and through, have documented, visited so many times. They are top destinations, and I didn't really want to be the person to explore these well-known destinations. But, you know, I'm only here once. I guess this is my first time at this major destination. So I figured, you know what, I'm here in Southern California, I ought to cover this big city. So here we are, today exploring one of those destinations, Los Angeles, California. You could probably guess what the other one is, but that'll be revealed in due time. Maybe I'll visit there eventually. But here we are today, Los Angeles, California, the city of angels. California's largest city, second largest city in population in the country. Before we get into the real meat content of this video, well, I just want to tell you about my experience with LA's public transportation system, the Metrolink. Just got out of Union Station over there, and might I say, it's quite different from the public transportation metros in the East, like New York or Philly or Boston. If you're thinking of visiting Los Angeles from any small city with a Metrolink station, well, you might be out of luck because they only service like the morning and late afternoon commuters. There's no real service in between unless you're in a real big city, which, I mean, Los Angeles is a city of cities. There's so many different districts, so many different suburban cities which have exploded in population that, you know, you might find something somewhere, but I was sort of out of luck yesterday. I wanted to dedicate 2 days. We're kind of limited to one now. Not to worry though, I mean, it's like 8:30 right now, so we have plenty of time to cover the most important aspects, the most important attractions and locations that should be visited if you only have one day in Los Angeles. So we're out here at the Olvera Street District. This is supposedly the oldest, most historic part of the great city of Los Angeles. If you want Los Angeles and its core roots, you go here. This historic plaza was founded in the year 1781. I guess you gotta go 10 years back to 1771 to really find the first core settlement, the building, the mission, which is in another part of town, but this is the historic plaza. It's a great thing that this historic plaza is preserved as best as it can be, El Pueblo de Los Angeles. Colored streamers flying all around. It's a nice sight. Los Angeles is too part of that great El Camino Real of California, and the El Camino Real led the foundations for modern California history. But it's been over 250 years since the first Franciscans from Mexico came up to California and settled this Los Angeles area. A lot has changed, so let's explore the downtown of Los Angeles and see what we can find, see what we can discover and learn. Los Angeles, City of Angels, most populous city in California. What do you have to show to us today? Oh, wonderful, look at that. We found it early enough in the video. Los Angeles clock. I'll take one of those pupusas.
Yeah, pupusas. I have 26 different kinds.
Oh, okay. So we are right outside the Los Angeles City Hall. Yeah, all the big name politicians of LA really need a grand, tall building to show their might over everyone else. But that's not important. What's important is that in front of us we have something called a pupusa. And now, Los Angeles is a huge city which brings so much immigration here. There's gonna be tons of groups, not just people from Mexico or even other Hispanic groups, but it also attracts so many immigrant groups like Chinese, Vietnamese, Indian, Arab, Persian, Armenian, Korean, Japanese. So all in this big city. It's got a big area too. You could find various people from different backgrounds, many of whom are vendors. There's a big street food scene in Los Angeles, so I thought I would get a pupusa, which is basically Salvadoran pizza. Now, I've never been to El Salvador, but apparently the food's very nice there. I thought I would try something. Forget the breakfast of champions, I want the breakfast of happiness. And I think this pupusa is gonna do the trick. Oh my goodness, it tastes so good. It's like, it tastes in my mouth, not as greasy, but it's almost like a healthier version of pizza without the messy sauce. Okay, I take that back. It is a bit greasy, but it's very easy to rip off with a bit of gravity to help you out. And it just makes for a great snack. In this case, this is my breakfast. You know, Angel's Flight might be one of the last, if not the last, streetcar left in Los Angeles, a city that used to be known for its abundant streetcars. And, well, now public transportation's shifted to the metro and other light rail and all that. But largely, LA has become a car-centric city. In fact, LA's now known for being the city with some pretty heinous drivers. You know, NASCAR, you might want to recruit some of these people on the interstate, because although they may only be on I-5 or something, they might think it's a NASCAR speedway, like they're at Talladega or something. But at least Angel's Flight is preserved as a testament to LA's once sprawling streetcar life. Impressive glassy skyscrapers towering over downtown Los Angeles. Wasn't always like that. For many decades after the original founding of El Pueblo, Los Angeles was just a little frontier town right next to the Pacific Ocean, but it was only when the railroads came along and connected California to the rest of the country that, well, this began to boom. People began to move in thousands to LA. And the oil industry that started because they found oil right here at this coastal basin attracted even more people. With Los Angeles's attractive Mediterranean environment, climate comprising of hot summers and mild winters, a little rainy, but the rest of the year is totally fine. I mean, it invited such a hospitable environment to all the people moving west. And now, if you can believe it, Los Angeles is home to just under 3.9 million people. That's just the city, people within the city limits. The metro area is home to like 18 million. That is insane. It is by far the most populous city in California, second most populous in the country. Just in terms of area, this city is huge. Over 50 square miles. Yeah, that's LA for you. It has so many different districts, culturally distinct from another, and they kind of act as their own little cities within the city. As far as the urban growth goes, literally anything in the basins west of these coastal mountains, it's going to be developed. Urban sprawl is a big thing here in LA. They have so little room that even the mountain slopes are used for various housing. You got to be pretty wealthy though to have one of those mountain homes. Now, of all the immigrant groups to come to the Los Angeles area, one of the greatest, one of the largest in number were the Japanese. And they made a cultural impact, a dent onto Los Angeles's history. So, let me introduce you to Little Tokyo, Los Angeles's best Japanese cultural district. Yeah, as you saw, shops and markets littered around this district. Not only for the local Japanese people here in Los Angeles, but any local or tourist who wants to immerse themselves in the cultural fun of this Little Tokyo district. There's even a Japanese-American museum dedicated to the study of the Japanese-American history, specifically in Los Angeles, but all over America. That museum back there is a great way for people to understand not only the plight, but the bouncing back of the Japanese-American immigrant group. They were a group that had to go through a lot of discrimination, just like a lot of other immigrant groups here in America. I mean, talk about a lot of museums. There are plenty for the museum lover to enjoy here in Los Angeles. Just in front of me, Museum of Contemporary Art. There are plenty of museums, let me just say that. Too many to cover in just one day, let alone a few days. Well, there's that familiar station, Union Station, from which I arrived into the city of Los Angeles. But there's only so much I can do if I'm here for one day just in the downtown. There's so much more I could be doing in the downtown. It's the second largest city in America for a reason. It's huge. But throughout this whole video, I have been forgetting one fundamental aspect of Los Angeles culture. So I guess we should begin that part of the video. Well, it may not look like the glitzy tinsel town that you know it for, but we are in Hollywood. That's right. The city that made so many people of the film and TV world. We are here. I don't want to hype it up. I'm not really a big fan of all the glitzy, glamoury spectacle that it might be, but we're going to go through it because that's what the coverage project's about. We cover the things we like and we don't like. Hollywood is a district of Los Angeles. At one point they were separate entities, but they merged in 1910. There have been secession efforts, but they've ultimately failed, meaning that Hollywood and Los Angeles theoretically are one in the same. But many, if not most, visitors to Los Angeles will also try to spend some of their days in Hollywood. Hollywood is that important district because Hollywood is essentially the film and media capital of the world. It is that city which sparked a revolution in how entertainment has functioned. Originally, it was the theatrical and vaudevillian performances of the Northeast, which was considered America's media and entertainment capital. But Los Angeles was a great place to start for many people of many different jobs and opportunities. So I guess you could say the rejects of New York's and the Northeast's media industry sort of fled here for better opportunity. And what grew out of it was a global film and media sensation. And so it's now Hollywood, Los Angeles, which is hailed as the greatest place to move to if you're an up-and-coming actor, writer, director, producer, anything to do with the film industry. What are we doing in this cemetery filled with mausoleums and monumental-sized gravestones? Well, this happens to be no ordinary cemetery. This is Hollywood's premier cemetery for the actors of Hollywood's golden age and beyond. I guess it's not only actors, but also anyone affiliated with the Hollywood scene that has a very good chance of being buried here if they so choose. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see you there. Beautiful thing. Now, there have been many different media companies which started long, long ago. I mean, ever since the days of the silent movies, well before movies would have sound or color. You know, someone had to make these movies and films. It had to be done by a team, not just one person. And thus came the dawn of these major motion picture companies. Warner Brothers, MGM, but probably one of the most famous of all is Paramount. Now the problem is, these companies are very, very restrictive on what the public can see because they make a lot of money here. I mean, this is millions, if not billions of dollars at stake, and they want to be very secretive with what they have inside their walls. A non-Hollywood affiliated person, someone who's not part of the crew, just an ordinary member of the public would be able to see the inside is through a guided tour, and it's highly restrictive at that. About 80-90% of what you see on the tour is not allowed to be filmed or photographed, so there's very, very limited opportunity to see what's inside the famed Paramount Studios. Nevertheless, I tried to get what I could, and here's a couple photos or clips of what I could get access to. Alright, so we are in Hollywood itself, and you'll notice a lot of stars. Yeah, this is that famous Hollywood Walk of Fame. Now, most of these stars are dead and long gone and part of the golden age of Hollywood. But some you might even recognize as names. Contemporary celebrities. It's not uncommon to find celebrities just walking about here in Hollywood. Now, what makes a celebrity a celebrity? Oh, I don't know. I guess you have to sort of star in a film or be a famous musician or be well known somewhere in the media industry. Now, could I be a celebrity? I don't know. It's a very loose term. I wonder if it's possible to bribe the Academy or whoever runs the Walk of Fame to get my name on these stars. I mean, some of them are blank, awaiting new celebrities to be forever imprinted. I'm gonna do my best to explain what I don't really like about Hollywood, why I don't enjoy it here. I mean, I feel like it has cultural significance, that's why I am here, but as far as will I come back, probably not. So as you can see here on Hollywood Boulevard, everything with the great palm trees, a beautiful architecture, tons of great weather, bright lights. It's a big utopia, and that's what I really dislike. You're asking me, oh, what's so wrong with the utopia? Isn't everything so great, picturesque, sparkling with euphoria here? And, you know, yeah, if you like that type of thing, that's great, but I'm someone who likes to really see the world through a lens of reality. And being here in the center of it all here in Hollywood, it's just, I don't know, a lot of superficiality. But I guess people like the idea of things being sealed in a coat of glamour. I mean, it does look like a spectacle. It does look like the pinnacle of all things greatness with film and media, and I guess for those who are big fans of celebrity culture, that's great, but I don't think it's great to idolize celebrity culture or film culture. It's a world of escapism in a way. Just one big glorified theme park with billions of film dollars to back up the budget in a way. Doesn't it make sense? Like, the main industry here was to create fiction. All the actors, directors, screenwriters, you name it, whatever job was related to this industry, it all happened to be about creating this fantasy, a world of stories, and nothing was bound by any constraints other than your imagination. So of course, a utopian world like this would be created, and it transcends to the culture where, I guess, I hate to say it, but I think the people here are very far removed from society. It looks like a utopia, so wouldn't you want to feel like you're in a utopia? Which is kind of sad because there's a huge dichotomy you notice. There's celebrities walking around here all the time. There's people with lots of money from the film industry side by side with the huge amount of homeless and impoverished people here. It's a complete dichotomy of worlds. It's a diverging set, but a clashing set of polar opposites all right here in Hollywood. Well, as busy as Union Station is, that's right, we begin here and we end here. I finally found a secluded place to film this conclusion, in a way. So, In-N-Out, it's a restaurant, it's a fast food chain that I've heard great things about, great service, great food as well, but it's only really found in the southwest part of the United States. It started in California, and it's mostly staying in California for the times to come. There are a few in Arizona or Texas, but largely it's a Californian-based, Californian-rooted franchise. Each state has its own signature fast food burger joint. By the time we go to California, far off into the future, we'll get to experience something called In-N-Out. I had to just get an In-N-Out burger. This is the In-N-Out burger. It's got all the fixins on it. I tried to order it the classic way. Of course, I don't want to confuse myself this early on as I'm getting to know and meeting In-N-Out burger for the first time. So here goes. Oh, it's phenomenal. I can't explain in words. It's probably one of the best burgers I've had as far as fast food goes. No wonder everybody in California wants it. Everybody in California wants it, so much so that you might not find an In-N-Out that isn't packed. Maybe I shouldn't expect much of the Hollywood In-N-Out burger, but what can I say? It's a delicious one. Los Angeles, California is such a culturally rich and culturally profound, important city in California that if people say, oh, I'm from Southern California, they'll most likely mean if they're not from San Diego, they're from the Los Angeles area. With that being said, I must bid adieu to the great city of Los Angeles. It wasn't that bad, but once again, it's a case of, oh, everyone's talking about it. That sort of draws me away. I like to go to these places that are less talked about. And Los Angeles, it was on the bucket list to just say, been there, done that, and now that it's finished, there's that satisfaction we have on the coverage project for experiencing the second largest city in America. So awaiting my train that's coming soon, but not too soon. I better not miss it while still finishing up this In-N-Out burger. Sitting here with a sense of completion. More travels to come. I will see you at the next location.